Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you in Premiere Pro um, all about putting in and out points on your clips and actually making it much easier and quicker to edit a video, or at least definitely be quicken the pace quite a bit. So I have a project that I created called Cutting Up Clips. I have a sequence right here called Cutting Up Clips. Here it is right here in the timeline. A sequence is a timeline. I have a folder for audio, which has nothing in it, but just in case, I have a folder called B-roll, which has video footage, and then I have a folder called images, just in case. So I'm going to open up the B-roll. Now notice that it's in list mode, and there's not too much I can do with it here. I could drag it, and then look at it, but let me delete that. What I'm going to show you though is different ways that we can cut up the clips without putting it on the timeline and doing it before you ever actually have it on your timeline. So I'm going to put it in, first of all, I said this once before, but let me show you again. If I click on the project panel and see that it's in yellow, there's a yellow thin line around it. If I click on the timeline, see how that yellow line goes over there? It means it's active. That panel's active. So I'm going to click on this panel. I'm going to hold the shift key down and press the tilde key, which is that horizontal kind of squiggly thing. If you hold the shift key and you press right above the tab key, they're two weird looking keys, and it's the tilde. So if I go shoot the tilde, it makes the project panel full screen. And now I want to put this in thumbnail mode. So right here. Now, if I let me make sure. I just want to show you something here. In my preferences, generally, you will have something like this. That when you double-click B-roll right here, see, or actually, I had it set up. So I see how it went into a tab mode, and I can go into thumbnail and I can see these. Okay. Usually, what it does, it goes kind of in a floating window. Well, in Premiere Pro, I already had it set up like that. But if you go into the general and right down here, it's about the bins, the folders. And typically, if I double click, it's going to open it in a new window. You want to say open new tab. I like it when it goes into a new tab rather than a floating window. Okay. All right. So now that I said that, now what we're going to do is I have my thumbnails, all my B-roll footage in here in a folder called B-roll. Now look, if you'll notice, I can scrub through these things and look at them. I'm going to the right, it goes forward. I go to the left, it goes backwards. So here's the light turning on, here it is going back, okay? Okay, so you can kind of look at your footage very quickly. Notice this little icon too. It means it has audio. It contains audio right there. Some of your footage might not. If you don't shoot with audio, it might just be B-roll footage without any kind of natural sound. Okay, but these all have audio connected to them. Okay, now, if I click on one of these, watch, I'm going to click on the light, and notice that all of a sudden there's a scrubber, little thing you can grab and you can move through. Now, I set some in and out points on this thing. Let me see if I can delete those from here. Okay, well, I'll do that later. But if you click, I can scrub through my footage and look at it that way. I can also set in and out points. If I want the beginning of this clip that I want to use is right as it turns on, right there, I can get the scrubber where I want it, and I can press the letter I. And notice that the yellow horizontal bar moved to there to begin with. That's the end point of this shot. And then if I want to stop it, let's say right there, I press the O. Okay? Now, I'm showing you this quickly because this is the sort of not so good way to do it. But I'm going to show you the better way. Let me hit the shift and tilde. And here we are back where the project panel is its normal size. I'm going to double click this. And when I double click it, it goes in the project panel and note, I mean in the workspace, and notice that it has the in and out point set. Here's my in and out point that I put. Okay, I can physically grab these to change them. I can also move it somewhere and press these keys here. Notice it says mark in. If I press it, that's an in point. And if I move through this and I want to set a new out point there, I can press this key right here. Okay. I like to use the I and the O. Okay. There's also a way. No, these are all your transport controls. You can play. You can stop. You can go backward one frame at a time. I can go to the in. Okay. I can just, as I said, play. I can go to the out point. I can go to the in point. The thing is, you can do that with shortcut keys, and it's actually a lot quicker. Sometimes these after a while, you stop using these little buttons here, and you don't really need them. If you don't need them at some point, there's this wrench right here. I'm going to get rid of these buttons right here, and if I click on the wrench, it's show transport controls is checked. If I uncheck that, notice they go away. Now you're going to say, well, how can I play, and how can I pause, and how can I rewind the clip? Aha. So what I'm going to do is show you 3 shortcut keys right now that are going to alleviate that. It's the J, K, and L. L is for forward, J is for reverse, and K is for pause. So if I press the L key, watch, it's playing. If I press K, it pauses. If I press J, it goes backwards. Okay? Now let's say I pause it and I'm not, let me get to a point here. Now the thing is too, if you'll notice, if I want to go forward quickly, if I press it once, it goes forward at normal speed. If I click it a couple times, it goes fast, and then I can pause it with the K. But what I was going to say is, well, let's say you get to the point, but you're not exact. You want to go frame by frame. All you do is, instead of using the little button controls up there, you use your arrow keys. The right and left arrow, you can go frame by frame by frame. So the great thing is you can get close using J to go backwards, K to pause, and L to go forward. Okay? J backwards, K pause, L forward. And then use your arrow keys to get it exact. Okay? And then you press the I key or the O key to set the in and out points. Okay? So it's really quick to kind of rough cut your footage to get those parts of the shots that you want to use. Okay? And then all you have to do is drag it down. Now if I drag it down, notice the audio and the video comes and it's already cut up for me. It's the exact in and out point that I did. Now let's say I want to change it on the timeline. I can grab my selection tool, and I'm able to bring it in some more if I want. I can find the point with my scrubber, and again with snapping on, which is I have, where is snapping? Right there, sorry. Right there, it's on. It's going to snap right to it. Okay, just a quick way to kind of get your footage cleaned up and ready for the timeline. Now, again, I've mentioned this before in one of the other videos, but you see this button right here. It's drag video only or drag audio. If I drag this icon, notice the video with no audio comes down to the timeline. Come on. There we go. And then I'll do it with the audio just to show you.